What's happening, guys? So it's pretty tough to be a Dodge fan right now, isn't it? I mean, look, if you're a true blue Mopar enthusiast, what do you have to look forward to in the next 3 to 5 years? The Charger is soon to be upon us, albeit in an EV configuration, which no self-respecting Mopar fan even would think to ask or want for. But soon it will have its gasoline variants released. Except none of them are going to be a V8. They are the Hurricane Inline 6 twin turbo engines that are put into a platform of the Charger that was never designed to have a V8 put into it. Things like the substructure, shock towers, firewall, everything that is involved in placing a power plant into that engine, crash testing, EPA testing, and the like, well, all of that would have to be re-engineered to introduce any of the current existing engines, provided that they could catch an executive exemption. But the other side to this would be any V8 that would be under development would have to fit within the confines of a platform that was never designed to accommodate it in the beginning. So, what can you do if you're a Mopar fan? Well, I can tell you this. You can kind of hope for the best. Maybe one day in the far-reaching future, whatever that is, Dodge will put a V8 into that platform, although I really wouldn't start holding your breath just yet, because you have to remember that Dodge is part of Stellantis, which is a global company, which is a European-based global company, whereas Dodge is just a small fraction of a much larger pie. A pie that Stellantis doesn't have to have every slice to exist. Yeah, I don't even know if Stellantis would notice that this piece of the pie were gone. Yeah, if you look at the way and the direction that they're going, you would almost think that they're trying to carve that part of themselves away. So, will this platform get a V8? I don't know. The right answer to say is maybe, because with all of the engineering that it's going to take to get a V8 to fit and to work within the confines of that platform, it may not be economically viable. But the car itself may not be economically viable to a big portion of Mopar fans that for them only a V8 will do. So, coming into the next 3 to 5 years, if Mopar can put together a V8, or they can put together a decent enough argument to have Stellantis agree to front the bill to have a V8 put into this car, the real question is, would you buy it? Viewer, I'm asking you a direct question right now. Would you purchase this new body style with a V8 in it? And what V8 would it take? Maybe the 5.7, maybe the 6.4. I doubt that a Hellcat variant would make it to it, but let's say that it did. What would the price point be, and how would the V8 fall in line? The 5.7 liter would have to be the entry-level gas engine, where the standard output 3-liter Hurricane makes significantly more power and a boatload more torque. The 6.4 liter falls right in between the standard output and the high output, but it still falls rather short when it comes to horsepower. And let's not forget that the V8 variants weigh about 100 pounds more than their 6-cylinder counterparts. From a performance aspect, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe unless you start talking about that Hellcat variant, but then you gotta wonder, what would it price out at? See, already the standard output and the high output variants are threatening to be in the $50,000 to $70,000 range. If you want to look at the EVs, by the way, its top tier is over $80,000. Could the internal combustion engines be as much as that? Well, time will tell. But if we look at the outgoing LX platform, we can see that the Hellcat variants were trading for into the six-figure range, over $100,000 for those cars. Would you be willing to spend that kind of money on this car with that Hellcat engine in it? That's a pretty tough sell. And it places this car outside of the range of being an everyman's hot rod, the way that the Hellcat was when it was originally released. And let me not let you forget that that car priced out at mid 60s to low 70s. That thing went up $30,000. That's about 40% inflation, guys. This new car can't afford to be priced like that. No Mopar fan will be able to buy that car. And matter of fact, I'd be willing to bet that quite a few folks are already turned off by the Hurricane 6 cars, much more turned off than in the case of the EVs. But this car is going to be so expensive, either way you put it, that even if you're a huge fan of the Hurricane 6, you might find it just price point prohibitive. So post up your comments. Let me know what you think. Are you a player with this car with a V8? And what would your price point be? What's your pain point when it comes to this car, regardless of what powertrain is in it? I'd love to get your feedback. Hope to hear from you.